This is the Halftime Oranges podcast, brought to you by Kegs and Dicky. Welcome to today's episode of Halftime Oranges. Here, just me and Dicky today. I share a little. I don't know if you're about to hear this very well, Dicky, or the listeners, but we'll see anyways. Could you hear that at all?
Yeah, I could hear the Munster chants in the background.
Yeah, I just thought that was quite relevant. For those that aren't watching and that are listening on Spotify, I'm actually here tonight in my Munster Rugby jersey gifted to me by the boys back in Ireland. I just thought I'd throw that in there early doors, considering Munster beat the Crusaders, who Dicky is a proud supporter of. On that, Dicky, because you claim to be such an Irish person, are you now a Munster supporter? After that result, I just had to throw the question out there.
Munster was always my Irish club, always has been. But
of course.
Obviously, when they come against the mighty Crusaders, I was cheering for the Crusaders. It was pretty sick, actually, down in Cork. 41,000 attended, and I can't remember the name of the stadium. It was sort of, I don't know if it was Irish or had a bit of
it's a Gaelic name. I don't know it either.
Yeah. But they had terraces at either end, so sort of standing like the old Carisbrook at either end, packed in like sardines. That was sort of quite cool though, and then seated on either side. And it was a mean atmosphere. Yeah, they were singing Fields Athenry, which is what they're renowned for doing. And then a bit of Zombie played a little bit at half time, and at the end of the game, they got around there as the Irish have been of late. But it was good. It was mean atmosphere, mean stadium. Pre-game was mean. Just touching on that Munster kit, it seems as though every Irish person attending that game had some sort of Munster kit, which was actually sick. It'd be better if we did that back home, but we don't really do that.
Yeah. I know, it is interesting. When I lived there, bloody hell, even if you just rocked up to the gym, there could be like 10 of you in there, and at least 2 or 3 of the boys would be in some sort of Munster kit, let alone at rugby trainings, and at least half a squad. It's like back home, we're too proud to go out and buy it and wear it, you know? Like you just never catch the boys doing that.
Yeah, which is a bit disappointing. But it was a hell of a game. Wow, actually, wasn't really hell of a game. It was close in the end, but Munster looked pretty slick in aspects, and the Crusaders obviously were a little bit not rusty, but just like easing into things. First actual hit out of the season, so which was to be expected. But it was a couple of good highlights, but apart from that, it was sort of a lot of code was sort of played in between the 240s. Just sort of trying to go places, but didn't really go anywhere, to be honest.
Yeah, I just watched the highlights of that because I was elsewhere. I couldn't watch the game, but it didn't look like it was a couple of nice tries scored, really, but the Cruise scored an absolute classic, I think, just before half time.
Yeah, that was a beauty.
Mitch Drummond dotted down. Yeah, that was just a classic NZ try, I think. Like NZ footy at its best, running from their own like 30, and boys just there to back up, finish off. Like that was a beauty. I did see a couple points just looking at the highlights. Shock. Lee Halfpenny goes down injured after about, I don't know, what was it, like 25, 30 minutes. Left the ground in a sling. I
thought it was actually earlier than that. But yeah, I'm not too sure on the actual timing, but it seemed to be a bit earlier. But I'll tell you what, he did look bloody good. I thought he had probably 2 touches from the back, and he looked pretty good on his feet and still pretty quick. And then play continued and he was walking off on the back end of our try line, and we saw him holding his shoulder and his shirt, just going, jeepers. I guess that's a sort of risk you run, I guess, with older players, but I still think he's got a bit of value there, so I don't think it's a horrific signing.
Yeah, I was still shocked when they did sign him. I mean, the man's 35, but fair dinkum if you're saying that he still look pretty sharp out there. It'll be hopefully for his sake, not a bad injury, but I know he has had a bit of a run with injuries recently.
Yeah. I probably had a few takeaways from that game. One being that the Crusaders, even though they've lost, will still be epic again. Just have to. Obviously, it was a big game because they hadn't played. I don't know if they played each other before at all. I don't think they had, but they played for a cup, so a title. So you don't know when you're going to win that again. So you could definitely tell that was on the line, and it almost seemed like there was a gentleman's agreement not to take shots at goal, which is good to see, considering it was pre-season for the Crusaders, which you'd never do in pre-season as it was. Few points for me was that Crusaders will be dominant again, obviously missing, like, when you think you've still got like Braden or Sevi Reese, Fergus Burke will come back into the fold. I think he's back in about April, May. Will Jordan wasn't there. David Havili wasn't there. And that's just to name a few, really. Two hookers, Brodie McAllister, Cody Taylor, they weren't there. So Zach Gallagher in the locks as well. So there's a lot of cavalry that was missing. So I think come round one against the Chiefs, we should be pretty fine.
Is Cody still hanging around? Is he still signed?
Yeah, I believe he's still on contract, yeah.
Oh, shit.
That's my understanding.
Yeah. It was always going to be a tough game for the Cruies in that regard. Like, both sides were without their internationals, but obviously Munster are over halfway through their season, so they're a well-oiled machine at the moment, and obviously Cruise first hit out. So it was actually pretty good effort from the Crusaders, to be fair, and they'd only been in the country for probably less than a week, and there's a lot of new players, a lot of inexperience. So yeah, not a bad performance from them, really. Not bad at all.
I think the big question will be I think it was probably easy to assume that Fergus Burke would be the starting 10 coming out of that Canterbury season had he not torn his Achilles, or ruptured, or I don't think it was a complete tear, but he's obviously not back till April, I should say May. Be interesting to see who sort of takes command of that 10 jersey out of Kamara and Rayhana. I thought, even though it was pre-season, there was a bit of aimless
did
kicking.
You mean Kimura?
Kimura, sorry. Yeah, my bad.
Sorry, I just had to clarify.
I was in my mind trying to pronounce his first name correctly, and I thought, I might butcher that, so I go for the last name, and I've still butchered it. So apologies to him. But it'll be interesting to see who takes over that 10 jersey and sort of runs a cutter. Whether or not Havili even potentially slots into 10, I wonder if they've talked about that. But
wow, yeah, that's
Rayhana, he slotted
I'll
a
tell
fucking.
You what, actually.
Yeah, what?
No, sorry. Carry on. No, you carry on.
I was just going to say, he slotted a pretty clutch goal from when there's a bit of pressure on. It was 21-12. Dallas McLeod had just scored probably an absolute beauty. It was an absolute beauty of a try for the Crusaders in the corner.
Yeah.
And he slotted the conversion from the sideline to make it 21-14. And then, unfortunately, he hooked the last kick. But I think he got done by a bit of pressure from the charging people, because, boy, 3 of them got pretty close to just charging it down, like, on the spot. So I reckon if he'd maybe taken it back an extra 5 metres, he might have slotted it. But that is what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. That David Havili option is fucking probably not a bad call, to be fair. Because then you could have, like, to be honest, like Dallas played pretty well as well. I thought McLeod, he went not too bad. So you could keep him at 12, Almore at 13. That's not a bad call at all. at all.
Yeah, well, I think he's played a bit there for the Tasman Marco, but yeah. I don't think thinking now. I don't think I said Brad Neno earlier about for the Crusaders, but he tore his ACL, so I don't think he'll probably be out for the majority of the super season. So that'll be a bit of a loss in the midfield stocks, but the outsides are
Did he
stacked.
do that at the World Cup?
Nah, he did that in the Dunedin Test against Australia.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But the midfield, the outside's stacked for the Sailors. Geez, Macca Springer's going to be absolutely epic, I reckon. That kid is quick.
He looked
Big
good,
fan.
eh? Yeah, I was
Big
about to
fan of
say,
him.
that man has got pace. Yeah.
Big fan
he
of him.
looks good.
But they've got, obviously, him, Sevu Reece to come back, Will Jordan, Shea Fiaki, Manasa Mataali didn't even play on the weekend. And then they've got another couple young guns who I wasn't too sure of, but one came on for halfpenny at one stage, but I couldn't see the numbers. So they're stacked in the outside, so it'll be interesting to see if someone has to push in to cover a bit of midfield as the season goes on.
Yeah, that's true. Fihaki, actually, he looked good as well too in that game, just from the bits that I saw.
He's a big unit. He's definitely a big unit.
Yeah, and he's quick too. Like he put the foot down and he'll be going right past you.
Yeah.
Actually,
and the forwards
going back to Dallas McLeod. Going back to Dallas, he actually, I don't know if you saw it, but if you watch the highlights, he got bullied by Gavin Coombs twice on the line, pick and goes, back-to-back tries for Coombs. Dallas just got absolutely bullied. No chance on the line.
Didn't see that actually. I didn't have the chance. Didn't really rewatch the highlights, but it was quite hard to see. Yeah, it was hard to see some of the action depending on where it was at what end of the field. But I didn't see that. But well,
so were you in the terraces?
Yeah, we're in the terraces. Yeah. Me and my friend I was with was putting away a few beers and shouting out quite a lot.
It's the friend I'm thinking of. It doesn't sound like him at all.
No, it doesn't. So it was good fun.
Oh, that's good. I did actually see Big Dom Gardner got into a little bit of space, and he showed a little bit of toe there too. Actually,
yeah, Big DG.
You saw he made he made like a little break through an offload, and it was knocked on, but fucking hell, I thought for a second he got rid of the 21s, put the old moulds in, and decided to put the hammer down.
Yeah, no, DG looked good, eh? He was looking big out there. That break was right in front of our sort of corner. I think I got called back for potentially being in touch, which just didn't look to be the right call. And then he got into a bit of space as well, but it got called back as well. Might have been off loose pill, but he did look like he had a bit of pace. I think he must have been just watching that Rico Ioane try saver over the preseason before hitting the speed ladders and stuff, just really firing up. But no, he looked good. He looked real good, actually. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a big season, pushing for that 6 jumper maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Should be interesting. Real interesting.
Moving into other games that were played, if we stick with Super Rugby, Chiefs, obviously there's this cross-border rugby happening. Chiefs have gone down 38-14 to the Wild Knights. Big upset, I would have thought.
Yeah, I only watched the highlights of that game, but you'd consider it to be an upset. I know, Josh Ioane played. He sort of scored a bit of a fortuitous, I don't know how to say that word, but you know what I mean. Sort of try in that second half, which sort of made the scoreboard look a little bit better. But yeah, they were sort of done by the Japanese, weren't they?
Yeah, it was almost like they were just ruck time. we were discussing this just before. The refs interpretate the rucks quite different over in Japan. Like bloody
Sorry,
fucking
what was
hell.
that?
I was just saying we were discussing just before we jumped on
What was that?
about the
What was that? What was that word you said?
they interpretate.
Yeah, that's not a word.
Is it not?
They interpret.
They interpret.
Is a word.
Apologies.
It's all right. I just thought
sorry, but I'm
said,
just getting confused. Oh, I've just got too much Italian going on in my head right now.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Probably how
we'll
you say
get to
that
in a
in
bit.
Italian.
Get to that in a bit, but I just thought I heard something a bit off.
Yeah, no, that's fine, mate. That's fine. I appreciate that. Anyways, they interpret the rucks a little bit different. Boys fly in, pretty much go flying in straight off their feet, trying to pill for the ball, clearly slowing it down, and the refs are just like, play on. Don't even say anything. Don't say anything to the player that's gone in off their feet. And then the player will go in off their feet, get the ball, and it's a turnover. And it's just like, geez, Louise.
Yeah, no, I did. Yeah, I did notice in the highlights, Xavier Rowe, pretty much all the highlights. Well, yeah, a lot of it. Xavier Rowe was just blowing up at the referee about them just killing the ball the whole time, and I was, let's just say, I was in agreement with him on some of the calls on the highlights, but
yeah, likewise.
Yeah, there's seven that Jeff. There's seven got a couple of pilfers. He didn't look like he was fully Japanese, but he got a couple pilfers against the Chiefs. He went all right. Can't remember who it was though, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, Chiefs is sort of their forward pack wasn't bad, to be honest. And from the bits that I saw, it almost looked like the forward pack got a little bit bullied at times. Like I know the Jap boys can be pretty big, pretty physical, but and then Chiefs had quite an inexperienced backline, to be honest. Yeah, as you said, Josh Ioane was there. He didn't play very flash, in my opinion. Midfield was good. Tupai was back. Paul Heppy was in there, but then the outsides were pretty fresh. Pretty fresh, yeah.
Got to see Quinn Tupai back on the pitch after that horrific knee injury that sort of got swept under the rug by the judicial committee.
No strapping tape on the knee either. That's a good sign, I reckon. You know, when you're coming, especially an injury like that, and you're coming back, no strapping on the knee, must be feeling good. Man's back with a bit of confidence.
Geez, he must have he must have quite a good bit of mental strength on him, because any little niggle, I'm always just like, just fucking put some strapping tape on it, and then I reckon your brain just sort of thinks, yeah, I don't know, mental thing feels a bit better. But if he's got no strapping tape on it, he must be feeling bloody great.
Well, if I was anyone listening, I probably wouldn't take any advice from you anyways. But I sort of think the opposite anyways. Unless the niggle is real bad and it does need strapping, I sort of think if I put a little bit of strapping on it, it's like, fuck, I know that's weak sort of thing. So I'd rather just almost go with that.
All right. Okay. We can, maybe put that to the listeners, whether or not they think strapping tape is good for the mind or not. I reckon it is, personally.
Yeah, that is a good question to the listeners. Kind of mixed bag, I reckon.
But good to see him back out there. Yeah, but Chiefs going down pretty heavily, 38-14. You mentioned that Robbie Deans had a few comments about the fixture.
Yeah, he sort of just came out. I don't know whether it was before or after the game. Just sort of complaining about why his team is having to play a Super Rugby team that isn't stacked, the Chiefs, that isn't stacked without All Blacks in the middle of their season. Because obviously, Japan's probably about halfway through their season right now. Which I just found an interesting comment when it's when he's gone out and played Lou Diaga, Damien Delende, and Marika Koroibete, which obviously would be three of his star players. If you're complaining about that, why don't you play a B team? Because that's basically what the Chiefs did. I just found that it was a very selfish comment to make. Like I think it's pretty cool that we've sent teams over to Japan and over to the UK and stuff, just to give a different, just let people watch something different. I know the Japan comp's not as exciting, but it's still like something different, especially for preseason. Like fuck, why not? It's pretty cool. It's growing the game globally, you know. And you've got some hero Robbie Deans coming saying shit like that, but actions are showing otherwise, anyways. So it was just interesting.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the. I was a big fan of the Munster Crusaders clash because that's essentially like a world challenge almost sort of fixture compared, like similar to rugby league. Obviously, rugby league, those teams usually play their full strength sides and try and win that game. But I mean, that could be no different. It's quite tough with scheduling and all that sort of logistics. But it'd be good to. I reckon it'd be a good thing to sort of start like a club world challenge between the URC and Super Rugby anyway. It'd be good to have an annual fixture of the winner playing the winner. Epic. And then you just go, well, you can't really go. It'd have to always be in the Northern Hemisphere is the only thing.
Yeah, but that's...
Which isn't a bad thing, because if you're going to get 41,000 to a crowd in Cork, you're probably going to get fucking 6,500 to Orange Theory, that shitbox of a stadium.
Plus the atmosphere and stuff is just so much better over there or all over on the side of the world, eh? Like the chants and stuff, like you don't get anything like that back home at all.
Yeah, see, what I was reckoning is they need to bring... The Zoo's probably got the best atmosphere in the competition, and they've got that one stand where the students just get loose, which is epic to see.
Yeah, that's the only reason is because all the students are absolutely hooped and don't even remember the game anyways.
But I used to be involved in a club. It was called Cantabs at University of Canterbury. Hopefully it's still going. I think it's still going hard. And that was a Crusaders supporters army, right? And so we used to get cheap tickets for the students and then organise buses and stuff, and we'd go to maybe 2, maybe 3 games a year. And they'd just put us in this like little stand. They put us in the little stand at one of the ends, and it was pretty shit viewing, but like everyone was just hooped and trying to make a bit of an atmosphere. But I reckon what they need to do is they've got a TUI stand there currently, which is one of the end stands, and then the other ends usually doesn't have a stand in it at all. It's only got like 5 seats in it, 5 like seats up. They just need to make that tilt like that end stand just an R18 zone and make it like just where, because everyone just loves to, people will love to just get in there and get hooped, but the way it is nowadays with like red badge and everything like that, you can't really do that, and it just takes away from the atmosphere. But get a few larrikins all on the one stand, I reckon that'd give a real bit of, a bit of oomph back to it.
Yeah.
Outside of Dunedin, anyway.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Dunedin's so good because obviously they have that stand, and then for O week, you pay like $40 and it gets you like all 5 home games or whatever. Like it's cheap as chips.
Yeah,
it's like $10 a game, and everyone does it as well. So like that's why it's so good. Like they should really just do that. Like even in like Westpac, you can set up a little part of the ground and you might
Westpac's different. Westpac's a different. Westpac's a different beast though. Have you watched footy in that stadium?
Yeah, I have.
It's pretty unpleasant viewing. You're miles away.
It's just too far away. Yeah,
that's a terrible state. I don't know why they're playing. They're playing Argentina there, and then I think they're playing the second Bledisloe there against Australia. They've got. I don't know why they don't send more tests to Forsyth Bar. I would have thought. It would go Eden, Forsyth Bar, FMG, Westpac for our stadiums, but it seems to me that they rank them as Eden Park, Westpac, and even Forsyth and FMG on the same level regarding venues.
Well, they must purely just be ranking it on capacity wise, eh? Wouldn't be anything.
Yeah, but
to do with
Forsyth,
viewing, because
I think Forsyth holds 30,000. When I guess that's when both stands are in though. Don't they take one stand down at one end sometimes?
yeah, well, it's never up unless there's like an All Blacks
Test.
game or maybe a Super Rugby final or something. Yeah.
But see, you just put it up and you'd have 30,000 down there because everyone from Christchurch goes down because you don't get any Test footy in the South Island.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
So that game always,
And it's so
games
much
down there
better viewing.
always sell out. Oh, it's unreal down there.
Better
watching
viewing,
code.
better atmosphere. Yeah.
It's inside, so
Indoors.
it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then Westpac's well, Westpac's capacity, I'm pretty sure, is just under 40,000. So
right.
I guess you're probably losing 8 to 10,000
10K
seats, but
yeah, which is a bit.
It's just not worth it.
It's a bit of coin in the scheme of things.
It's a bit of coin, but fuck. Yeah, I don't know. I just disagree with Westpac at the footy stadium.
Yeah, the problem in NZ is that we've built stadiums for multi-purpose. Like Westpac.
I don't know
should
when
not be a rugby stadium, but
what Westpac shouldn't.
Like it shouldn't be there for rugby, just off the way it's built, you know.
It looks as though Westpac was built in 99. Obviously, it's a multi-purpose, which was a complete fuck up.
Yeah.
Because they've got the basin as their cricket ground.
Yeah, exactly.
But the basin, obviously, that can't hold World Cup caliber games. When like the 2015 World Cup was there, they had Eden Park and Westpac were pretty much the two grounds. Well, they were the grounds they used for the cricket for our home games.
Yeah.
But it was a balls up having they have the basin as well, pretty much as a cricket ground only, and then they've got the Westpac, which is circular for rugby. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. That's great stuff, isn't it? It's great stuff.
Yeah. Oh, well. Enough of slagging off Westpac.
Yeah. We had Blues played Sun Goliath and won 43-7. Yeah. They dominated them really. And Sun Goliath's not a bad squad in the Japan League, really. Like I think they're like third on the table. And just sort of blew them off the park. Backs are Rasley. Backs are very Rasley and Silky. They look good, to be honest. Blues look good, mate. I'll tell you what. Boys going to take a chip out this year, I think. Blues, yeah, buddy.
I don't think they will at all. Think about the Blues. Thought about it a little bit, actually, with sort of a few departing All Blacks from the Crusaders and who might challenge us. And I think it just comes down to Auckland as a people, as a population up there. An Aucklander when you meet an Aucklander. If you're not from Auckland, you can just tell they're from Auckland. Certain mannerisms.
Yeah, well, that's correct.
And I think good characters off the pitch usually make good footy players on it. It's a saying that's been said for years. And quite frankly, I think Auckland people aren't great people. They're not great characters. And it shows on the pitch that they're not very good at footy, and they're not very good when the tough gets going. The Blues definitely don't. And it's shown in their recent playoff appearances. The Crusaders beat them at home when they were probably Blues were favourites. They got thumped down at Christchurch last year, blown off the park. They're just not cut out for it. I don't know what they probably got away with it in the 90s when they won their couple chips in 2003. But times have changed. It's a weak population up there. They don't have the ticker. They don't have the character. And they're not good people. So I don't think they'll win a title anytime soon.
I think definitely valid points. I think the Blues have become a lot stronger in character in the last couple of years. I think we're just building into a good year. I don't even think I see the Crusaders being in the final, anyways. Um, and whether or not you're attacking the Blues a little bit more because you think that could be a reality as well, and you just hate to see the Blues win, the Blues toppling the Crusaders. But yeah, it'll be an interesting Super season this year. Actually, might be a bit more entertaining for those non-Crusaders supporters.
Oh, you mean it'd be a little bit closer? Is that what you're saying? Because Crusaders pretty much roll everyone. When they feel like rolling someone, they'll roll them. That sort of carry on.
Well, yes and no, I guess. Yes and no. Look, you've had your moment, mate. You guys have had your years, multiple years. I'll give you that.
Do you mean? So do you mean?
Change.
See, do you mean 98, 99, 2000, 2005, 2006, 2008, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023? Are those the years you're referring to?
2020, that is wrong, actually.
Well, we won the initial one. We were
one of those
undefeated.
years is wrong because
no, it depends how you do it.
well, maybe it was 21 won then.
No, yeah, but it was the year it was done on a ridiculous system where we somehow didn't qualify after going unbeaten. We missed out on bonus points or some fucking bullshit, and then the Blues played the Pacific final instead or something. But we won the New Zealand
Cup.
Yeah,
and the Blues won.
Yeah, they won a nothing game against some Australian team.
Hey, Blues won Super Rugby Aotearoa, I believe.
No, they didn't. They did not. I'll tell you now, they didn't. They didn't, mate.
Well, you're just clutching at straws here, I think.
No.
Well, anyway, we'll just take 2020 out of the equation. Yeah. Okay.
Should we move on?
Happy days. Landers played Moana 36-28. I don't even think we could watch that, to be honest. Played down in Queenstown. Classic preseason game for the Landers. And then Hurricanes didn't play. I wanted to get your thoughts. I'm pretty sure, well, yeah. So obviously Crusaders played Munster. They play Bristol Bears, I believe, this weekend, and then fly back to NZ.
Yes.
The Chiefs and the Blues are both playing another game in Japan, and then come back. And then I think it's maybe Moana are playing the Hurricanes this weekend, and then they have another preseason game after that. Boys are going 3 preseason games in a row for 3 weeks, and then going straight into the season, Super season. I thought that was kind of interesting, to be honest.
No, I was thinking that I don't know. Yeah, I was thinking that as well because I guess when you come back, you're going to have a little bit of fatigue and jet lag from traveling to Europe and back, and then you've probably only got like 12 days or 14 days or to sort of prepare before you get your first game, whether or not that affects the teams that have left New Zealand for pre-season or not. But I mean, I'd expect them to be flying first business class or premium economy, I would assume.
Yeah, I'd hope so. Yeah.
Which does help your travel. And they'll have all the fitness people trying to line them up for not letting them go to sleep and stuff when they land, so they get through the jet lag quicker and stuff like that. But I'll be interested to see if those teams actually, if it affects them or if they play a little bit more sluggish in the opening rounds. But I wouldn't say so. They're all professionals.
Yeah, like I agree. They're all professionals, but I'm just surprised they're going. So like the boys have got a game this weekend, right? And then it's the 23rd of Feb is the first round of Super.
Yes.
So they play this weekend, last preseason round. Then next week they're straight into the season. Like, they're going 2 weeks in a row preseason, then straight into footy. I just find like in Super Rugby is a pretty fucking intense season, and I know they got big squads for preseason and whatnot, but like still, boys, I thought they might give the boys a week off sort of thing before getting into it, but
Nah,
clearly I'm
not a
not a coach
chance.
or I don't run the show, so
Not a chance. Hey, just going back to that Blues title, I just had to do a bit of research there, just to confirm a few things. So it was actually 2021 Super Rugby season. And what's happened there is the Crusaders have won Super Rugby Aotearoa because we did a Super Rugby season and then and they had an Australian season, and then I believe we went to the Super Rugby Trans Tasman. And if I remember correctly, there was an outbreak of COVID in June of 2021 that sent New Zealand back into lockdown. And so what's happened is Crusaders have won Super Rugby Aotearoa comfortably by 8 points. And then there's been 5 games played between all teams, 10 teams in Super Rugby Trans Tasman. And from my understanding, from my memory, it's been cut short due to COVID. And the Blues, the Highlanders, and Crusaders have all finished on 5 wins from 5 games, all on 23 points. And the Blues have won that total on points differential without playing a final. So, I mean, yeah, that'll be a typical Blues supporter trying to claim that as a legitimate title, which is fine. Go for it if you need to.
title's a title, buddy. At the end of the day,
yeah, well, that can be argued. I mean, look at the 2019 World Cup. We didn't lose. We just didn't win.
okay. Yeah, right.
And that's factual. That's factual for this. That's factual in all regards. But yeah, should we go and talk about the Six Nations? I watched that French-Irish game on the weekend.
Yeah. What was your take on that one, buddy?
The Irish looked outstanding.
Yeah.
I thought Big Doris at number 8 for Ireland. He's a hell of a player. He is a good player, man. And who else played well? I thought the winger on debut,
Calvin Nash
for Ireland.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah, he played quite well on his debut, and then
Hugo Keenan
so
go
did
well,
the lock
I
up
think.
number 4. McCarthy went quite well on debut as well. Yeah, Hugo was solid at the back. They were all pretty good, to be honest.
They're
Crowley at 10 wasn't. He was all good. Yeah, I'd probably give him like a 6.5 out of 10. He probably had a couple of aimless kicks and stuff, but yeah, geez, that Irish side, that's a fucking good side, really. Not a lot's changed apart from essentially Crowley coming in at 10 for Sexton, but the train just kept on rolling.
Yeah, they look good. I mean, the French I think they had one guy got 2 yellow cards. I think it was in the 11th minute and then maybe in like the 30th.
Yeah. Williams,
so they played.
Williams, I don't know.
Yeah, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, so they played what would have been 60 minutes with 14 men. It might have even been 70. But anyways, the Irish still fucking dominated them, really, regardless of being a man down.
Well, that both deserve to be like his first yellow card, albeit it was a clean out. Things are fast. It was still sort of quite a high clean out, and he ended up just going straight to head. And then the second one, he's already on a yellow card, and the guy was sort of stationary, getting tackled from below, and he's just flying in and taking his head off with his shoulder.
Yeah.
Just absolutely diabolical.
I know. first one definitely yellow, like it was direct contact to the head. You kind of have to. And but like you say, second one, like, what an idiot. He's been on the field for 10 minutes since he's been back. And he's just gone another high tackle. Oh,
Yeah.
jeez Louise.
They definitely missed a Pont, and they're still missing Intermac a little bit at 10 as well. So, but you just can't get rolled like that in the Six Nations first game at home.
Well, no, it was,
albeit it wasn't at the Stade de France. It was in Marseille, but you can't get rolled. They got 5 tries to 2. It's a hiding.
It was Ireland's biggest ever win in France, I believe, against the
which
French.
Isn't surprising because you'd think that French team have how they've been. You'd expect them to be. They hadn't lost a game at home until that loss to South Africa in like 2 or 3 years, and now they've lost back to back, just like that.
Yeah, definitely missing Dupont. That man is freakish. Like since being over here watching a bit more of the French footy and whatnot, fuck, that guy's good. Like he just does everything.
Yeah, he's outstanding.
He's not a normal halfback at all. He's so good.
He's an outstanding player.
Yeah, he is.
But yeah, takeaways from that game is that that Doris at 8, he's going to be he's just so dominant. McCarthy on debut on the locks, he was pretty good. He came in for what's his name, Ian? Oh, I forgot his last name. Anyway, he plays for Ulster, and we were in Ireland, and there was staying in a dorm where George worked, and people up north in the Ulster region were a bit upset that there was no Ulsterman in the Irish team, but I was Ian Henderson. He came in for him. And then Bundy Ake was solid. And then Nash on the debut was pretty tidy. And then the French were just like, they just got folded. But that was it.
Yeah, Irish look on early doors, but Irish look on track for a repeat Grand Slam, to be honest. They'll be
the big thing is they play Scotland. And Scotland haven't won the Six Nations since 1999. But they play Scotland at home in Ireland in the last round. And England plays Scotland at Murrayfield for the Kolkata. And the way Scotland have been tracking the last couple of years, you'd think they'd retain that. So if Scotland got up over France, that would make things exciting, I think. But the way it stands, unless Ireland drop 2, and one of them's horrific, like a horrific loss, which I can't see happening, they're gonna waltz into the Six Nations, let alone a Grand Slam.
Well, they can take us into the Scotland Wales game because, fuck me, first half the Scots were so good, man. Finn Russell, the Messi of rugby, fuck, he looks good. Like he's just so razzly, man, but he's so sharp at the moment. And then Duan van der Merwe, that man is freakish too. The second try that he scored early in the first half was out the gate.
Yeah.
He's so big and he just absolutely stands up. I think it was the reserve 9 for Wales. I can't remember his name, but fucking just stood him up, burnt him on the outside. They're a deadly duo, those two.
Yeah. The Scots discipline, Well, I've been watching that Six Nations doco, actually. I haven't actually got through too much of it. I think I've only watched maybe 1, maybe 2 episodes. But they were saying last year was the first time Scotland had beaten a Warren Gatland coach Welsh team. And that was at Murrayfield. And then now they've won their first ever game against the Warren Gatland coach Welsh team in Wales.
It was their first win in Cardiff in 22 years as well.
Right.
Yeah. So
they did their best to try and not win, going up 27-0 and then holding on for 27-26.
Yeah. It was.
Their discipline, there's 2 yellow cards in the second half, just derailed them, and then But they did get held up on full time for a try, Scotland. So that would have done them sort of wonders, keeping Wales out of getting a bonus point. But I don't know if the Welsh will trouble too much of either Ireland or Scotland at this stage up the top.
I don't. Yeah, they don't. They don't look very sharp, really. To be honest, I mean, credit to them for coming back. Like that's a good ticker. But yeah, like they're not really much of a threat, to be honest, are they? Must be a little bit concerning for the Scots, knowing like I know they had 2 yellows, but like you say, they just absolutely derailed after 2 yellows, and they've just leaked 26 points. I think all in the period of when they might have been 1 try when they were back to 15, but I know most of those points came when they were down to 14 men. Like, that has to be a little bit concerning, I'd say.
Yeah, that's part of it. Well, what about that? What about the last game? You were at England, Italy?
Yeah, that was a hell of an experience, actually. It was quite cool. We were at Stadium Olimpico, I believe, in Rome. And that was the Italians actually played bloody well. They had a real good first half, scored 2 unreal tries, just like they sort of got their own Italian flair now. And like they scored tries from like I think the first one was about 30 odd out, sort of line break, and the second one I think might have even been like 40, 50 out. It just cut up through the middle of the English. But second half, English sort of choked them, just kicked a few penalties, classic English footy, dominated possession, territory. That's what fucked the Italians, actually. They couldn't exit, bro. They score points, and then the 9, like it was like he's trying to do contestable box kicks in his own 22, and they're going like 10 metres. English are winning it back, and then a 30 metres out, hot on the Italians, and that's literally what killed the Italians. Every time they scored, the English would score back. So, but it's really looked sharp, to be honest.
What was the stadium like?
It wasn't bad. Like it's like a Westpac sort of set up in an oval shape, but not quite as far away from the ground. But it was a good atmosphere. The crowd was good. The crowd was loud, singing along and stuff. Classic European support.
Was it sold out?
No, I don't think it was, but there must have been a good 40 in there. High 40s, I think. Yeah, that one.
Oh, yeah. That's a decent crowd.
Probably similar to the Munster game, yeah, 40, 50 maybe. But it was good, and then we got to a couple of the boys that I was with. No, one of their good friends made his debut. He was number 20 for Italy. I don't know quite how to pronounce his name, so I'm not going to try. All I know is that they call him Zaza. But they got a few wristbands to go to the aftermatch afterwards. So we managed to whip in there and see all the Italian boys, and then all the English boys came through. So that was pretty cool. See a few of those lads.
Did you talk to anyone?
No, I didn't actually. I didn't want to bother them. You know, I thought the last thing, if I was a player, sort of the last thing I want would be some random Kiwi fella just coming up and trying to fucking spin a yarn with me, sort of thing. So I just let the boys be.
You've got a British passport though, so like you're one of the breathers. So you could have just gone up to the lads and slipped in there.
Hey, I could have. Yeah, I could have. I chose not to.
Yeah, fair enough. And I guess we haven't really touched on it, but you had the ability to go to that game in Italy because you are now playing footy in Italy.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Abandoned your young Munster side, left them in the darkness, and jumped on a plane to Europe. Mr. Krabs strikes again. Money. Talk us through Why you're in Italy?
Don't start off the Mr. Krabs nonsense, anyways. But basically, it's just obviously, playing for young Munster, not getting anything there at all from financial benefit. And it was always the agreement with the coach was that if I got a deal that would be sort of full time, that they'd be happy for me just to go. And I wasn't actually actively looking at all. I was planning to play out the rest of the season there, and then my manager just messaged me and said, "Oh, there's a team in Italy that are keen to get you over. It's full time for you. Blah blah blah. Like if you're keen, I'll push for it." And that was on like the Friday, and then I woke up on the Monday with the contract in my email. So I was like, "Shit!" Had to sort out the visa and stuff, and then shot over, and I've been here for just over 2 weeks now. But it's all good. It's good. It's nice. A bit nicer.
And did you get to say goodbye to all your teammates at Young Munster before you left?
I did actually, and we got a win on my last game, which was nice. So we got a dub and just had a nice week, quiet goodbye with the fellas. So it was good. There's some good characters in that team, actually, some good fellas, good mates, you know. So no doubt I'll have to pop over and say good day again. But yeah, it's definitely a different experience over here. Obviously, I'm in a place called Calvisano, which is probably like an hour from Milan, so northern Italy. Very very small town. I think only about 10,000 people here. So as you would expect, probably in a small place, not a lot of English going around. So yeah, a few of the boys speak English, but it's not. No one's really fluent. So I'm sort of in your boat, Dicky. I'm living sort of experience what you've had to experience. Except
Well,
I
over
like
here
these
they
people.
do speak. Over here they do speak fluent English. They're just racist and they don't like people who speak English. So
They just choose not to speak English.
they just choose not to like people who speak English.
Yeah, right.
They'll speak English for the chance to do business with people who speak English. So typical Dutch, they're always keen on a bit of coin and they're pretty cheap. So if there's money on the line, they'll speak English and put on a bit of charm. But if you are just in the country trying to make ends meet, they won't like you really. But that's just my personal experience. I'm sure others have had better experiences, but you'll find out more tomorrow. I think I've got my day in the life tomorrow, so that'll be interesting for all involved.
Yeah, that'll be entertaining. It'll be good. I think it'll be good. It'll be very good. But yeah, I'm just here till May, June, depending on how long the season goes for. Playing for Rugby Calvisano, who they used to be in there was a comp called the Top 10, which was like sort of the top Italian comp, bar Benetton and Zebre. They're obviously in the URC. And they're up there. They've been up in that comp for this is the first year they haven't been in the comp, and that was they chose to step away, I believe. I don't know the exact reasons, but they weren't relegated. Just trying to rebuild, I believe. We're in the comp below, and then we've got 10 more games left until playoffs, I believe, and we're sitting in fourth, I think. So looking pretty good. Should be nice, yeah.
Tidy.
And then see what happens after that.
Well, I'm sure good things will come from it, hopefully. But yeah, did you do your day in the life today, did you, in Italy?
I did, so people will be able to see what I get up to. It was a bit different. We train at night still because not all the boys are like full-time sort of thing, so I have a bit of free time during the day and then training at night, but it's all good. It's pretty chill, pretty cruisy. Yeah.
Beauty. Well, yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to sharing my day in the life of a Dutch courier driver tomorrow. It'll be exciting. It'll be very exciting viewing.
It will be. It will be outstanding. I think everyone will be looking forward to it.
All good on that. Well, we've got a guest next week, don't we, to wrap up? We've got a man by the name of Shane O'Leary. Is that correct?
That is correct, yeah. So that episode will be out in a couple of weeks or so. But yeah, it'd be nice to have him on. Played with him at young Munster, and he's currently playing for one of the new MLR teams, the Miami Sharks. So he's living the good life in Miami currently.
Oh, beauty.
But bit of a journeyman. He's been around.
That'll be bloody.
He'll be good to have a yarn with.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. That'll be a good yarn. Hear about the streets of Miami, shall we say, next time we're on.
Exactly. All right, too good, fella.
Too easy, mate. Catch you later.
Look after yourself. See you.
Bye-bye.